Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator for now, and welcome to a quick carrier landing tutorial. We're going to start out today in Flight Simulator, flying the beautiful India Fox Teco F-35C. We're going to be landing on CVN-78 down below there, and we're going to walk through what it takes to do it in the F-35, what it takes to do it in the F-18, with a caveat: the arresting system does not work on the F-18. And then we're going to hop over into DCS and do the same thing in the F-18C, which is obviously a more realistic flight model. So without further ado, let's begin. Alrighty, coming in at about 1,500 feet, a little below, and sub 300 knots. We're going to go ahead and lower the hook and start our carrier brake now. So this next part's going to happen kind of quick, but I will do my best to talk through it. We're going to first drop gear. The aircraft's yelling at us for that now. And I'm actually not familiar with the approach speed for the F-35. I know the F-16 is right around 180 knots, but that's pretty smoking hot. I guess we'll shoot for about 150, 160. We do not have a AOA indicator, but this airplane is very, very, very forewarning of a onset stall, either via airspeed, the critical AOA, or a combination of both. So we will just monitor that as we go. Next thing we're going to be looking at is our flight path indicator, which is the little circle there with the looks like almost like a head-on airplane with wings. If I turn left and right, it's that guy right in the middle there. So we're gonna, as we turn around to the boat here, we're going to make sure that that is set directly on the touchdown zone on the deck. No flaps or anything to manually actuate. The F-35 does all of that for us. We just have to bring down the hook and the gear. Big bright sun on our approach path, that's okay. There's that flight path marker. We're going to go ahead and put that right on the touchdown zone and then just ride that in with power. You can see our angle of attack is currently 7 degrees. We want, I think, sub 12 or sub 15 in the F-35, so we've got more than enough angle of attack to spare. Go ahead and cut power. A little bit high of a touchdown rate. And then full afterburner as we go around, as we slam it into the deck like no one's business. Clean up the airplane, bring in the gear. That is a bolter, my friends. That is what happens when you are not skilled enough to capture the wire. So let's go ahead and come out of burner. Hook's still down, which is fine. Airplane's partially cleaned up the flaps. .130. So we're lined up left for approach. The carrier deck is actually slanted off to left. That's a byproduct of World War II airplanes slamming into the con tower and losing a lot of people. So we've got a lot of altitude here. We're a little bit left, so let's go ahead, dip the nose, gain some airspeed as well. Power. We're going to hold that angle of attack if we can. Power. Power. Probably would have been a wave off in the real world, but this is a simulator. Cut. And full burner, in case we get another bolter. We did not this time. There we are down on the deck for the CVN-78. So that's a successful carrier recovery. Will bring in the hook. And we'll fold the wings. So that's the F-35. We'll take a look at the F-18 next. More or less just the symbology, like I mentioned before. This module unfortunately does not work with, so far, any aircraft that I've trialed outside of the India Foxtech F-35. You can tell by the numerous F-35s that actually look to be the India Foxtech F-35 that it's not designed to accommodate other aircraft, and that's okay. I bought this module to use with the F-35, so that's what we shall do. But for the time being, we'll move on to the F-18, see what that's all about. Back with that in just a moment. Alright, and on to the F-18 now, like I mentioned before, but I will mention it one more time, third time actually, for clarity. This aircraft will not arrest on the deck. We're now off the coast of Texas, so some slightly different aircraft on the deck. Looks like there's some T-45 Goshawks, maybe an F-18 or two. But we're going to do the same thing as we did before, and we have the addition of a new piece of technology to take a look at. But we'll get turned around here on the boat first and foremost. Killing off some speed here. Dump the speed brakes as well. Sub 300. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the hook and watch this field, or this hook bypass switch as well. Those are working in tandem. So as you drop the hook, the aircraft automatically goes into carrier bypass mode as compared to the field. It's kind of already in a loose brake. Same process as before. Let's drop gear. We are going to manually lower the flaps this time. I'll turn on my anti-skid as well. And now you can see we've got some added symbology next to our heads-up display. That guy there is a angle of attack indicator. So you see the alpha symbol that we had on the F-35. The F-18 also adds the alpha or the angle of attack indicator. So if I throttle back and pitch up, that red arrow is going to turn into an orange circle. Maybe. There we go, orange circle, and then finally a red or green arrow. And those are our indications of angle of attack. So what we're shooting for on our final approach is going to be to keep that orange circle fully illuminated. So we're going to shoot for an approach speed of about 150 knots, what we're doing right now. I'm going to accelerate just a little bit to expedite the turnaround process for us. Just above bingo fuel at 6.7, bingo set to 4.5. Going to want to make sure we stay below 300. That is the maximum operating speed with the gear extended in this aircraft. Or close to it, at least. I always shoot for 300 or below when flying a fighter. And that has worked out for me so far. Same offset deck as we had in the F-35. It's a Nimitz class carrier. All of them had angled decks for the reason I mentioned before, out of World War II. Start slowing down a little bit here, treading some of our descent rate for airspeed. Deck is green, so we get to land. Up to 150. And then, just like we did with the F-35, we're going to put that flight path indicator right on the boat. A little bit low this time. quick configuration check. Gear down, hook is down, flaps are down. There we go. We are good for landing. That's all we need on the Hornet. Looks like it's happy at 140. I'll take 140. Big crosswind here. Gotta get that boat aligned with the bolter. A little bit more of a crosswind than I was expecting. Not that that's an excuse. But we'll do the same process again. And one more square off turn to make sure we're nicely aligned. We're gonna dump a bunch of altitude here as well. Keep the engines at idle so we don't gain too much airspeed. Looking for the boat. We are left. Power. Power. And that would have been a successful landing, but like I mentioned before, the F-18 does not arrest. So let's hop over to DCS where the F-18 does do arrested landings and takeoffs, shall we? Well, if that's not a starter, I don't know what is. Welcome over to DCS. My personal favorite simulator of all time. We've got the F-18C here on the deck, ready to go. The old Top Gun paint scheme. E2D starting up behind us, so we should best get out of his way. We'll go ahead and get started up, get launched, get up in the air, and then talk about the carrier landing in DCS and the F-18C. Alright, so here we are airborne in DCS. Going around to the boat now. See if we can get a radar altimeter read. Let's go ahead and drop the hook. It's going to be the same process as before, just a little bit more careful this time. You can't be as jank with Flight Sim. F-14 on approach down there. And in for the break. Good touchdown with the Tomcat. 200. Get a little bit more distance here. Put the board out and start a descent in here.
1-1 airborne.
Alright, gear coming down. Flaps in the full position. And just like before, we have a offset deck. Try and get slowed down here. Going to put that flight path marker right on the touchdown threshold. Get our AOA closer to a little bit higher of an AOA. There we go. And then we're going to use our throttles to advance, or I guess raise and lower, that flight path marker. We are right on the wires. Power. That's a bolter. I think we blew a tire. No, we didn't. Sounded like we blew a tire. Landed prematurely. Okay, so bolter done. Alright, 12 degrees AOA is what we're shooting for. We're well below that now. Looking at our flight path marker. Try and get that AOA indexer in the orange, which it is now. A little bit left. There's a touch into burner. And we're good. Alright, that is a landing in the F-18 complete. Let's clean up the airplane. Flaps coming up, hook coming up. And we'll fold the wings. And find a parking spot somewhere. Near the deck. Guess we'll just go for this elevator here. And that is going to do it for this video, you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you learned something new today with carrier landings. Not necessarily the best teacher myself, but you know, hopefully you enjoyed. That will do it. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching this one. And as always, take it easy.